Which Genshin Impact character would survive the Backrooms? By the Backrooms, what I mean by that is I am extremely oversimplifying it, and it will just be a very hard and confusing maze with a powerful entity trying to fight and chase them. The creature's strength will also be exceptionally strong, so only the top-tier fighters will be able to defeat it, and most will have no choice but to try and evade it. I am gonna be putting the vision holders into 3 tiers. Will escape, meaning they can outsmart the entity, and escape the maze, unsure, meaning I don't have enough information to make a solid conclusion, and probably not, is the character has a pretty low chance of escaping. Now, let's actually begin with the video, starting with Albedo. He is very powerful, and can just use his alchemical powers to defeat the entity. In addition to that, he is also extremely smart, clever, and can use an elevator, so he will likely solve and escape the maze. Next is Amber, who's an outrider, so she's pretty fast and adaptable to situations, so she can likely outmaneuver the monster, but I am not certain if she's clever enough to beat the maze, so I'm placing her in unsure, but leaning towards will escape. For Loi, I haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn, and I am very unfamiliar with her lore, therefore I'm just going to place her in unsure. Following that, we have Ito, who will likely not be able to leave, because his IQ is similar to his vision, and the maze will be way too confusing for him, making Ito be trapped, placing him in the probably will not escape tier. Next is Barbara. She has really good healing, however, she's not very good at fighting and running, thus, I imagine the monster will be able to catch up to her, and she'll get eliminated, making me place her in probably not escape. Succeeding is Bido, who is surprisingly very powerful in the lore, so I think she will be able to defeat the monster, and adding to that, she's also exceptionally intelligent, by what the comments have told me, thus placing her in will escape. For Bennett, his bad luck will mess with him in any possible way it can, basically making it impossible for him to escape. Next is Chongyun, who is decent in movement, speed, and cleverness, so I am placing him in unsure, but leaning towards probably not escape. Following is Diluc. He likely has visited a domain that is similar to this before, and he is exceptionally very smart, allowing him to fully evade the entity, and in all likelihood, even defeat the confusing maze, proudly giving him the will escape tier. After him is Diona, that is the Kadsleen bloodline, giving her increased dodging and mobility, so she will be able to outmaneuver the monster, but will she be able to defeat the maze? I don't think she's clever enough, making me place her in the probably not tier. For Eula, she's really good at dodging and keeping her composure, making her survive for a pretty long time, however, I am not sure if she can escape the maze, placing her in unsure, but leaning towards will escape. Next is Fischl, whose biggest advantage is Uz, but the downside is, they will probably be separated, due to the Backrooms nature, making me place her in probably not. For Ganyu, she's a powerful adeptus, therefore she will likely be able to just defeat the monster, but sadly, I envision she wouldn't be able to leave, because she will get stuck in the maze, placing her in probably not. After her is Goro, who is decent in movement and speed, similar to Chongyun, but has a little more intelligence, placing him in unsure, but more on will escape. Next is Hu Tao, who isn't exceptionally fast or agile, thus the entity will probably reach her, making Hu Tao be placed in probably not tier. Succeeding is Jean, who is very adaptive, strategic, and can use the monster, but I'm unsure if she will be able to escape the maze, but more on likely will. After is Kazuha, that can manipulate his vision to glide through the maze, but his biggest advantage is the Weens can warn him about where the monster is, and maybe even lead him to the exit, placing him in will escape, with a little uncertainty. For Kaya, we are unsure about a lot of things, regarding his strength, speed, and intelligence, placing him in unsure, but leaning towards will escape, because he is rumored to be exceptionally gifted. For Ayaka, I think she is probably capable of outsmarting the powerful entity, but I am uncertain if she's brilliant enough to escape, placing her in uncertain, but more on probably will. After that is Ayato, her brother, who I also envision can outmaneuver the monster, and, in addition to that, he's exceptionally intelligent and strategic too, placing him in the likely will escape. Succeeding is Kei Ching, who can teleport and move really fast, so she will likely beat the entity, and even the maze, if she utilizes her abilities well. Next is Klee, who can easily destroy the monster, however sadly, her brain is not big enough to solve the maze, making her in probably not tier. For Kujo Sarah, she can use her wings to fly, and also teleport, therefore she will likely be able to outmaneuver the monster, and make strategies to escape the maze, similar to caging. Next is Lisa, who is lazy, but is exceptionally very intelligent and clever, meaning she has a very high chance of solving the maze. Following is Mona, that can predict the future, and can teleport, the two abilities most suited for this scenario, deservingly placing her in will escape. For Ningguang, she's surprisingly very powerful, in the lore, by the few scenes we saw her in, allowing her to just defeat the entity. However, will she be capable of escaping the maze? I am unsure, as her smarts is more on business. Noelle, I don't think is smart enough to solve the confusing maze, but at least she will likely defeat the monster, placing her in probably not escape tier. Succeeding is Chi-Chi, she's very powerful, if she unleashes her power, therefore she can defeat the monster, but her forgetfulness will make her be trapped in the back rooms. For the Raiden Shogun, who has the strength of an Archon, she can easily destroy the monster, however I am uncertain on how clever it really is, making me place her in unsure, but more on probably not. Next is Razor, although he isn't the brightest individual, he runs very fast, and he can smell danger, allowing him to evade the entity, and probably even lead him to the exit, similar to Kazuya. For Rosaria, she can effortlessly outmaneuver the monster, although her cleverness isn't really known or showcased, so I am unsure if she can escape the maze, but more on the will escape. Kokomi is extremely intelligent, adaptive, and knows all about strategy. Need I say more? She will likely escape. Sayu can definitely outrun the entity, but she will eventually get sleepy, allowing the monster to catch up to her, placing her in probably not. Following is Shenhe, who is strong enough to defeat the monster, but she will likely not be able to solve the maze. Succeeding is Sucrose, who is Albedo's teacher, so she's very intelligent, and will likely be able to decode the maze. However, her lack of speed and agility will be her downfall, as the monster can get to her, placing her in probably not. For Child, he's powerful, therefore, he will just defeat the monster, but I am very uncertain if he's smart enough to escape the maze, so I placed him in unsure, leaning on probably will. Next is Toma, he seems to be pretty clever, so he can outsmart the entity for some time, but is he clever enough to leave the maze? I am honestly unsure, but I think probably not, because his strategies rely more on people. After him is Venti, who is an Archon that is more than capable enough of defeating the powerful monster, and he can fastly glide through the area, so he will likely eventually find the exit, giving him the will escape tier. Xiangling is decently agile, and can outmaneuver the entity for some time, but I think she will eventually get caught, especially since Goba will suddenly disappear. Following is Xiao, who can easily defeat the entity, or effortlessly evade it, thanks to his agility. In addition to that, his teleportation is very useful in this scenario, so I think he will definitely escape. For Xingqiu, he's decently fast, adaptive, and intelligent, so I can envision he can outsmart the monster. However, I will place him in unsure, as we don't know the limits of his knowledge. For Xinyan, I assume she can survive the monster for a pretty long time, however she doesn't seem to have enough tenacity or cleverness to solve the maze. Yae Miko is the Electro Archon's familiar, and can easily eliminate the monster. She's also known to be very clever and strategic, thus, I think she's capable of leaving, making me place her in will escape tier. Next is Yanfei, who is decently intelligent, and can think of a strategy to evade the entity, but I don't think she can avoid it the entire time, as she isn't known to be agile, and the monster will get her. For Yoimiya, I think she can outsmart the entity with her fireworks, but I personally believe she won't be able to get out and be stuck, sadly placing her in probably not. Succeeding is Yunjin, who isn't known to be fast, therefore I envision she will find a strategy to try and avoid the monster, but still get caught by it, similar to Yanfei. And lastly, For Zhongli, he is an Archon that can summon a meteor to just fully destroy the entity. However, will he be able to get out? I am not certain, as his knowledge is very unique, placing him in unsure, but Moron will escape. As usual, don't take this video seriously at all, because this is all just for fun and speculation. Thank you all so much for watching. What parts do you agree and disagree with? Comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye.